So Disney has this new $400 skip the line pass called Lightning Lane Premier Pass, but I don't want to pay $400. So we're gonna ride every Lightning Lane ride at Disneyland without Premier Pass.
I am committed to not spending $400 on this scam. However, I will need to pay for the $30 Lightning Lane Pass if I want a chance of riding all 23 Lightning Lane rides. Wait, what's the difference between the two passes?
So multipass is the $30 pass. You have to book a Lightning Lane for the exact time that you want to go on the ride. Premier Pass, you don't have to do that. You could just walk on it, but it's still the same Lightning Lane line that you're going through. There's not really much of a value difference besides the fact that you have to book a Lightning Lane for it. But we're gonna show you that that's really easy and you don't have to do that.
This video could potentially save you hundreds of dollars if you follow all of the advice that I give you. So make sure to keep watching to see how you can save that money.
So we're gonna start with Space Mountain, and then we're gonna do everything in Tomorrowland and Matterhorn and then Toontown.
Lesson number 1, expect the unexpected.
It looks like Space Mountain is gonna be closed, so we're gonna have to run around the corner to Matterhorn and just hope that everything goes well, I guess. This isn't the most ideal way to do rope drop, but we're doing it. Wow, we actually still got to like the front. Oh wait, that's crazy. This will probably take like, I don't know, 5 minutes. This is how much money we've currently saved. We might have to buy Lightning Lane single pass, but I'll try not to. We'll just see what happens. We're also not gonna use single rider because I figure most people don't use single rider, so we're not gonna use it.
We're supposed to be acting like normal people at Disneyland.
Yeah, we're acting like normal people today. We're not like crazy psychopaths where like usually I try to ride every ride in one day.
If I don't want to fall for Disney's scam, then I need to learn how to use Lightning Lane multipass.
This is where you book your Lightning Lanes. You can book Lightning Lanes every 2 hours if you're stacking them, or however fast you can use them. At the moment, I have Tiana's Bayou Adventure booked, and I can book another one at I think like 9:28.
You may be wondering why we didn't start by booking Indiana Jones, the most popular Lightning Lane ride, which leads us to lesson 2, which is don't expect the rides to ever work.
It's not offered, look. Huh? They're not showing Indiana Jones yet. Ideally, I would have wanted to book for Indiana Jones, so I'm gonna try to modify my Tianas for Indiana Jones whenever they start letting people book Lightning Lanes for it. This is your first time going on this one in a while, right?
Oh yeah, it's been at least 4 years?
4 years, all right. Well, Jeffrey, I'm pretty sure you're famous. People in the comment section love you. I'm just saying.
I haven't got enough comments, so he decided to bring me back.
That's the only reason.
And while I have to worry about making sure I book all the Lightning Lanes, I'm gonna let Jeffrey put all of the rides we ride today on a tier list, starting with Matterhorn bobsleds.
Oh my god, we're going.
Matterhorn was my favorite ride as a child and still remains very high on my list. The theming of this ride compares to nothing else found in California. Though it is rough, it is still great.
That's one of like 23 rides down. So here's what we're dealing with. Space Mountain is closed. We can't book for Indiana Jones at all, which is kind of annoying. So I'm gonna book for Space Mountain because the return time's at 9:10. So I'm gonna modify this right now. Modifying does not affect the 2-hour rule, so you don't have to worry about that.
Essentially what I'm saying is that I booked a Lightning Lane for Tiana's at 7:28 a.m., which means I'd be eligible to book a second one at 9:28. But now that I want to switch the Lightning Lane to Space Mountain, I still am eligible to book the second Lightning Lane at 9:28, because when you modify, the 2-hour timer does not reset.
For now, we're gonna go over to Toontown and do the 2 Lightning Lane rides in Toontown. We're gonna start with Runaway Railway, then we'll do Roger Rabbit. You may be wondering why have we not used any Lightning Lanes yet, and it's because it's super early in the morning. There's no reason to use Lightning Lanes yet. You want to be using Lightning Lanes later in the day, like in the afternoon when you actually need to use them. But for now, 5-minute wait, look at that. We have not stopped moving since we entered the queue, and this is like the front of the line. We're just walking on. All right, second ride of 23.
Our first time riding Runaway Railway happened to be during the first speed run. After a long day of riding every single ride, it stood out as a great ride. Even after riding it 3 more times since then, I still love this ride.
So we need to do Roger Rabbit before we leave Toontown, and then we'll head back to Tomorrowland. Hey, remember this spot? It's where we ended the speed run. That was fun times. 12 hours in. We're what, like 39 minutes in, we're getting on our 3rd ride. These are all Lightning Lane rides. Disney thinks that you need to pay $400 for this. You don't. We haven't even used a single Lightning Lane yet. Disney's scamming you. I mean, we could spin a little bit if you want.
What's the point of the ride if we don't spin?
Exactly. You gotta spin.
You gotta spin to win.
You gotta spin. Spin to win. Spin to win. Free trip to Disney. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
This ride is basically the Looney Tunes and the Mickey Mouse version of the teacups.
We spin here.
It's a sickening fun ride, and it's only as intense as you make it. That's why this ride is great.
Thank you, Roger. Roger. That's 3 rides down. 19 more to go.
And with 20 rides to show just how worthless Lightning Lane Premier Pass is, we headed to Tomorrowland to ride the 4 Lightning Lane rides. And no, Indiana Jones was still not giving us any luck.
Okay, so it looks like Indy is still still not letting us book a lightning lane 46 minutes into the day. Kind of annoying. We're gonna go to Tomorrowland, and we're gonna do the 3 that we need to do there before we do Space Mountain, because we can't use the lightning lane yet. Then hopefully we'll be booking for Indiana Jones. If not, then I'll just book for Tiana's after we get on Space Mountain. I think we're gonna do Buzz Lightyear and then Star Tours, and then we'll use our lightning lane, because we'll be able to use our lightning lane for Space Mountain at that point. Buzz Lightyear, Mr. Buzz Lightyear. I know that guy.
All right, every time we come here, we do a challenge. What is it this time?
Oh, right. I think it's whoever gets the least amount of points has to buy the other drinks at Trader Sam's.
Since we're doing both Toy Story and Buzz, let's add them up. Whoever has
Double or nothing.
Yeah.
I know the secrets to this ride. I know which targets you're supposed to hit and where they are. So I think I might win on this.
Buzz Lightyear is the best game ride I have ever ridden, in my opinion. Out of every single park, I think this does the best theming for a game ride. Actually shooting physical objects other than looking at a screen is so much better.
Okay, well, I think
you got a lot better since last time.
I've been practicing, I'm telling you. Well, I guess we'll see how we do on Toy Story, but so far, Trevin 1, Jeffrey 0. So after Star Tours, it should be like the perfect time for us to use our Space Mountain lightning lane. And then after that, we could do Autopia. Oh, Indy's open. Indy's at a 25-minute wait. What's the return time?
Lesson 3. Even if a ride is open, don't assume that they will be giving out lightning lanes, even if they should be.
There's no return time yet. What the heck? It's open. What? Sometimes things happen like this, and it's annoying. We can't even book a lightning lane yet, so it's not the end of the world, but that's a little concerning.
Thankfully, the wait for Star Tours wasn't long, so we were able to board fairly quickly, with the Space Mountain lightning lane waiting for us when we get off the ride.
It's time. Lightning lane multipass selection, ready to redeem. We gotta wait. We gotta get through this ride first. Let's go. Glasses gang.
I was pleasantly surprised to find out that they changed Star Tours for the Ahsoka TV show, but it doesn't change much. It's just watching another video while your seats move.
By the time we got off the ride, not only was it time for us to use our Space Mountain lightning lane, but we were also eligible to book a second lightning lane since it had been 2 hours since we booked it. Thankfully, Indiana Jones was offering lightning lanes now, so I ended up getting an Indiana Jones lightning lane for $10.50. But before going on Space Mountain, I went to see if getting on Autopia through standby was a good idea.
Okay, so I walked over here because I wanted to check on Autopia. It's a 20-minute wait right now, and yeah, that looks kinda... Let's do Space Mountain first. Or should we wait on Space Mountain? Because we can, if we wanted to. And we could run over to Tiana's and do Tiana's real quick while it's a low wait.
We're coming back here anyways, and we already have the lightning lane. And we're already on a new timer, maybe.
I would say, yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always important to remember that the most recently booked lightning lane is the one in play for the 2-hour rule. Since I didn't use the Space Mountain one within 2 hours of booking it, the new 2-hour rule is contingent on the Indiana Jones lightning lane, which means as long as we modify the return time of Space Mountain to further in the day, there is no rush to use this lightning lane. And since Autopia has a relatively long wait, we decided to leave Tomorrowland for the time being.
We need to be like looking for rides that we don't have to use lightning lane on yet. Just so that we can still take advantage of like the rope drop time. So that's why we're going over to the other side of the park. Oh boy, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I was here on the fourth day of its opening. Okay, 15 minutes. This is ride number 6. We still have not used a single lightning lane yet, but we're stacking them. We're stacking them so that we can use them later when we need to use them. Princess expands palace into business empire. Wow. Is she becoming the new McDonald's? I'm confused. Let's hope we don't get wet, but we might get wet. I don't know. I don't know how bad it is in the back. I've only ever been front row on this ride.
Tiana is a good ride. The updated animatronics are unbelievable, and the outside is breathtaking. Though I am sad to see Splash Mountain gone, Tiana's was a good replacement.
And just for the heck of it, here's my opinion of Tiana's, since I wasn't able to go on it during the last speedrun.
That was the 3rd time I've ever been on Tiana's, and that was actually pretty cool. Every time I go on it, I feel like I like it a little bit better. Definitely not like an S-tier Disney ride though. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I think we should go for Millennium Falcon because it's been 10 minutes for a little bit, so I think it actually is just gonna stay at 10 minutes for a while. And then go to Big Thunder. Big Thunder's closed right now, but let's hope it reopens, because if it reopens, then that's one less lighting that we need to get. That would be perfect. There it is, there's the Falcon. And there's a 10-minute wait for it. So you think we're gonna get pilots?
I sure hope so.
I hope so. I'm trying to trust that this actually is a 10-minute wait, but seeing as it's stopping right there, might be more like 15 to 20.
We ended up waiting 20 minutes, which wasn't the end of the world because we did end up getting assigned pilots for the ride, which is by far the best position.
We're gonna get like the best score.
Smuggler's Run is only a fun ride if you are the pilot, which we happen to get in this case, but if you're not the pilot, all you're doing is sitting around pushing buttons and hoping you have good pilots. I also could have done better as left pilot.
This thing has seen better days. Better fix all that before the Wookiee sees it.
Big Thunder's not open yet. I think we're just gonna go to Rise then. We gotta get Rise over with. So here, let me buy Rise.
We had to use a little more of our money to get the a la carte lightning lanes for Rise of the Resistance since it had a 70-minute wait.
Okay, first lightning lane that we're using, and there we go. We've used our first lightning lane, but it's a single pass lightning lane, not even multi-pass yet. Yeah, we could use our Indy lightning lane now. Big Thunder's still closed. That's really annoying, actually.
In my opinion, there is no ride in these parks that rivals Rise of the Resistance. The theming of this ride is incredible. The work that the actors have to do for this ride is crazy. Though it does have a tendency to break down, like it almost did on us.
Don't stop now! The escape pods are just on the other side!
Yeah, why don't we stop? Is the ride gonna break down?
Yes!
It is still an amazing ride.
Attention, there has been a temporary interruption to
Wow.
We were.
Wow, we got lucky. The ride literally just broke down like right as we got off of it. There was way too much stall time on that. That's not normal. Big Thunder is still closed. So I guess we're just gonna go to Indiana Jones and then we can book another lightning lane. I guess what we could do is we could book for, let me look at what Guardians is at.
Remember, not only do we have to ride every lightning lane ride in Disneyland, we also need to park hop to California Adventure and do the 9 lightning lane rides over there.
Guardians is 5:20 p.m. Yikes. Yeah, but we might be able to swipe up on it, but that's not guaranteed also.
There is one major hack to Lightning Lane Multipass that I have not yet told you that essentially makes Premier Pass completely worthless.
So this is the swipe up strat. Basically, if you just like hit modify on it and then you just constantly refresh, you can sometimes get a return time that's closer than what you currently have.
Since the Guardians Lightning Lane return time is already very far out into the future, we will be forced to book a Lightning Lane for its return time and then hit modify and constantly refresh the page until someone drops their earlier return time and it becomes available for us to pick up.
Yeah, this is where it's gonna start to get a little bit difficult, but don't worry, we're still gonna get through all this and I'm gonna make sure that you're not paying $400, okay? So don't worry.
That being said, once we scanned in our lightning lane for Indiana Jones, I didn't want to book for Guardians just yet because there is still 5 more lightning lane rides in Disneyland that we need to ride.
So I got Pirates, it's for an hour. Oh, 11:15. I just swiped up on the lightning lane. I got 11:15 lightning lane for Pirates, so we can use it right after this if we want to. It might be stupid to say this, but like, we gotta hope that the ride doesn't break down.
Though Indiana Jones is infamous for breaking down, if you get on this ride, it's always amazing. With how it plays with the lights, the atmosphere of this ride is its biggest strength. I've always loved this ride since I was a kid. It will always be great.
We did it! Hey, it didn't break down. We go on Pirates because we have the lightning lane for it, and then book something else.
Figuring out what ride to book for next was pretty difficult because almost every Disneyland lightning lane that we need now has a return time that's at least an hour out. And I know that if we wait too long on booking for Guardians, we run the risk of all the lightning lanes being distributed for the day. Oh, also, lesson 4, if a ride, such as Big Thunder Mountain, has been broken down for over 2 hours, it's going to make the return times for every other ride a lot worse than what they should be.
Yeah, I don't know what Big Thunder Mountain's doing, so it's kind of messing with this whole plan, but we'll do Pirates and then I think we're just gonna book for, I don't know. Maybe we do just book something for California Adventure and we just try to do the rest of these standby, which I think we might be okay with. It just depends on if we can walk on Big Thunder, because if we can walk on Big Thunder, then we should be okay. Okay, we're about to use our Pirates lightning lane. This will be the second multipass lightning lane we actually use. Let me get the Guardians lightning lane right now. Wow, now it's saying 610. But here, we're gonna get this one down, don't worry. I got the hack. Modify and just swipe up. I'm just swiping up on this like a madman.
I noticed that Trevin was on his phone for like the first 4 minutes trying to swipe up. Man, Trevin's missing out. I have been on this ride so many times. I love it for many reasons, especially to use as a break for some of the more thrilling rides in the park and to get out of that California hot sun.
Even after spending a majority of the Pirates rides swiping up on Guardians, I wasn't able to get it to budge down the return time.
This is still really bad. I can't get this one down.
So I decided to change the lightning lane to Big Thunder as we went to Bengal Barbecue to eat some lunch. And as we ate, I realized that we may have a crisis on our hands.
Because Big Thunder was down for so long, it's hard to really budge the return time. I'm trying to swipe up right now on it, but also like the return times in California Adventure are not looking good.
Okay, let's break down lightning lane distributions real quick. A general rule of how lightning lane distributions work at Disneyland is that it generally is a first come, first serve system. You book the lightning lane and then you get a return return time that is just after the last person who booked a lightning lane. If the ride breaks down, then there is a bottleneck because the current lightning lane return times can't be used. So in that case, Disney will give the guests who have a lightning lane for that ride a multi-experience pass if the return time comes and the ride is still down. They can use that on a bunch of different lightning lane rides, which increases traffic at all of the other rides and makes those return times worse for everyone. Additionally, the people who still have a future lightning lane for the ride that broke down will most likely want to change their lightning lane to a different ride that they can use it on, which also makes the return times for the other rides even worse. Also, for some reason, Disney still distributes lightning lanes for a broken down ride, but return times that are far in advance enough so that they don't give out instant return times for a ride that may not even be open, which inadvertently causes another bottleneck when the ride eventually does reopen. If none of that made any sense, just know that when one ride breaks down, a domino effect happens around the park with the lightning lanes because of the decrease in capacity that makes the return times worse for all rides. The longer the ride is broken down, the worse the effect is. And how many rides have broken down today so far? 5 multi-pass rides.
It might just be that we can't even do this, and then that's the video. That might, because like, I don't know if we could do this. I mean, yeah, this return time is just not budging. I don't even know what we can do right now.
At this point, I hadn't been paying too much attention to California Adventure, but I'd assumed that something similar was happening because Toy Story and Web Slingers, 2 rides that Lightning Lane is essential to use on, are 3 hours out with their return times. And of course, Guardians was like 6 hours out. I could try to book one Lightning Lane and then just wait for the 2-hour timer to pass and then book another one and repeat this process, but even if I were to do that until DCA closes at 10 p.m., I'd only be able to get 5 lightning lanes out of the 13 rides that we have left to do, which would leave us with 7 rides that we'd have to do standby. Also, this assumes that there are no rides that get their lightning lanes entirely booked up for the day, which at this point is a very big possibility for a few rides at California Adventure. And standby across the board on this day was not good due to the earlier ride breakdowns. So this is how I came to the realization that there is no possible way for us to ride the rest of the lightning lane rides without getting Premier Pass. Disney has successfully played us.
It's just gotten so congested and the return times are just not budging at all. Like, I feel like even during my speed run, the return times were budging a lot better. We're just gonna see how much we can do before the middle of the afternoon. We're gonna go on Big Thunder. We're gonna do standby for Big Thunder. Oh, is Big Thunder bad?
Kind of looks like it.
Oh, 45 minutes. Oh, I mean, should we just skip this one too?
I'm down to just skip it.
If we do that though, we should probably try to at least go on Autopia because we still have like 30 more minutes till we can even use the lightning lane. Or, I mean, we could just wait for the return time too if you want. We've folded pretty quickly. It did not take us long for us to be like, damn, these return times got hands.
Even though I was trying to laugh this off, I could not get over just how bad of a failure this is for me. I am the certified Disneyland Speedrun Pro. I've ridden every ride in the parks 3 times. The least I can do is show you how to save some money on lightning lanes, but it's just impossible to do that right now. How could I have let Disney beat me? Should I have swiped up more? Should I have booked for Guardians earlier? It feels like every lesson we've learned today points to multipass being unreliable. Is Premier Pass really the only solution to this? But in thinking all of this, that's when it hit me. You shouldn't be doing Disneyland like this. I literally sat on the Pirates ride refreshing my phone over and over again while I let the ride pass by me. Is this how I want to spend my Disney trip? Or better yet, is this how you want to spend your trip? Jeffrey and I could try our damn hardest to get on these last 12 rides before the park closes, but remember, we are trying to be normal people at Disneyland. Nothing about what we've done today has been normal. And I'm not the first person to recognize that this is by design. Disney intentionally created this not normal system so that you can pay for a more expensive, less complicated system that solves all of the problems of the cheaper system, enticing you to buy this more expensive system. But I don't think that's a good conclusion to this video, so how about instead we take this as a learning opportunity? This for sure is the least I can do, considering the title of this video. Yes, Premier Pass does give you a major advantage over multipass, but at that price point and what experience you're going to be getting out of it, it's simply not worth it. We've been able to get on 10 of the biggest rides at Disneyland today in just 4 hours, and at the very least, I really hope that this video gave you enough tips on how you can use multipass to the best of your ability. Maybe if you want to go on every ride, Premier Pass holds some value, but if that's something you want to do, take this video as an example of what the experience will be like. You'll be running around the park all day in the heat, and you may not even get much time to do anything but the rides. Or you could just not get Premier Pass and go a second day. It's literally cheaper to go a second day. I can't stress this enough. Do not spend your whole day running around the park with Premier Pass if you're not up to it. Just take it easy. So that's what Jeffrey and I decided to do. Not the going a second day part, but the taking it easy part. We spent a bunch of money on food. We played the Pixar Pure Carnival games that we've never played before. If you want to see this footage, you can check out my Patreon. We checked out the Redwood Creek area and just had a great time, which leaves me with the final verdict on Premier Pass.
So I guess the moral of the story, this video is titled, do this instead of buying Disney's $400 lightning lane. Just have a fun time. Don't think about how to use all the lightning lanes in one day. Just do what is most fun to you. Just have fun. Have fun your way. If your way is doing all the rides in one day, then do that. But, you know, just don't pay the $400. It's not worth it. Just buy a second day. It's literally cheaper to buy a second day.
And my way of having fun at Disneyland is enjoying Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar at the Disneyland Hotel. But if you want to see more crazy Disneyland challenges, then click here to watch me complete a bunch of them.